Journal entry, 1st of the month of July, in the year of our Lord 1155. Word has reached us that the Crusaders have been defeated in battle by the superior numbers of the enemy, and the kingdom of Jerusalem has fallen. Uncle Roger has led our troops wisely in a campaign deep inside enemy lands, and has besieged and taken several strongholds. Alas, the fall of the bastion of Jerusalem and the capture of Aunt Elodie forced an end to the war, and the mighty house of Villeron-Gaza now is but a shadow of its former glory. She has been exiled to a small island off the Persian coast and has become infirm in her desperation. Thus ends the tale of the Crusader queen, installed by Toulousian blood during the First Crusade by my grandfather, and betrayed by the Catholic realm who did not come to her aid. I do not know the machinations of the Church, yet to see the Pope declaring a second crusade just as Jerusalem fell makes me wonder. Was there some scheme at play to remove House de Villeron from control and replace them with lackeys more amenable to the papacy? It is the thinking of my sister, and I have a mind to agree. Thus we have declared that enough Toulousian blood has been spilled for the Church, and we shall not come to the aid of those who abandoned us. And with that, the second branch, held by one of the female members of the first generation of the de Villeron dynasty, has been much curtailed. House Villeron-Gaza is no longer the mighty holder of the Kingdom of Jerusalem, but a simple county in the east. And obviously the Princess of Fashion, Faidida, has lost pretty much all of her holdings as well in the end. Now, in Aunt Elodie's case, it's not a case of her being particularly evil, but of Catholicism in general abandoning her, and as such, the Abbasid Caliph and the Sultanate is in control of the Holy City, which has prompted the papacy to suspiciously quickly start another crusade, just as yet another plague, the African pox, is spreading all around the Middle Sea, which means we have potentially yet another devastating plague to deal with. But King Enric here has his own battles to fight, and he has to still deal with somewhat discontented uncles, especially Count Raoulf of Rouergue, and that is something that Princess Peronella of Toulouse, the spy master, is very much going to help him with dealing. Who has her own now, Raoulf de Villeron, the little nephew. He can go start studying languages. I actually have to see if anybody else in here, if we sort that by age. We've got Volkhard von Nassau of de Villeron. This is de Sablé. And Cecilia is, I think, still... Is she already studying something? She is already studying, okay. And Navarre is already of age. So, there we are. Time to organize the court and try to retain control over the kingdom of Toulouse and get it to grow after my father's vision. Swish, crack. The sound of a wooden sword whirring through the air and finding its target is thrilling to me. I ready myself to take another swing, but I've caught the eye of another. Cecilia clatters down the steps, brandishing a sword of her own. Enric, let's see how you do against me. I look Cecilia up and down warily. These swords could probably do a fair amount of damage if you struck someone with one, and Cecilia looks a little too enthusiastic for my liking. However, I am brave, so take your stance. We will have a duel with wooden swords, and I'll do my best not to hurt my little sister. All right. We've got three options. We are impatient, so I think that's what we're going to be going to be beginning the attack immediately. And she does a very high. So we got medium low, low, or low and none. So we're going to have to go with a confident attack. And so far we're actually relatively evenly matched. But it says she seems to be close to faltering. So I think she gained a dual handicap, that's why. So we could, we're going high medium again, simply to reduce the stress from our impatience. Let's show her how this works out. Okay, her stance is completely falling, and she's gone high, very high. Oh dear. Could go. We could kick her in the shin. That sounds pretty. I think we'll just playing defensive for a bit. And I think with that we have exhausted her. And with that, no parry meets me, no dodge evades me, and I still have to pull myself back at the last instant to avoid hacking off her head. Instead, I simply rest my sword against it. Once more, Cecilia freezes, but it's clear I've won. So, well done. And with that, we had a mock battle against my little sister. I hope the few scraps are not going to be too bad. And bad news actually have reached me. The mother of my betrothed is starting to be of poor health in her age. The burden put on her for dealing with the plagues has been heavy, and as such it hasn't been easy for her in the past. The plague so far at least seems to be receding and not making any further inroads towards our lands. So hopefully we can get back to normalcy a little bit sooner. My sister Peronella brings disturbing news from the court of Uncle Antoine in Gévaudan. Apparently, Uncle's daughter Margarida de Villerance, my cousin, has been married to my uncle's grandson. I do not approve of such liaisons, but at the same time she has committed the sin of adultery. And while she has been confessing, this might be how the secret had come out. She is with child, and apparently it has been revealed that she is an adulteress and has lain with another man, which, given that this is basically, she's his aunt. I thoroughly disapprove of this, and I do not know what kind of dealings happening in Gévaudan, what kind of depravity is happening in Gévaudan, but this somewhat lowers my opinion of Uncle Antoine, who has been doing right by me so far, but I am not sure if he approved of this union or how that came to be. Uncle Raoulf has died and followed my father into the next world. This means that my cousin, Count Borel, has taken over Rouergue, and he is very much an ambitious man and not particularly in favor of my reign. So yet another problem to deal with. Currently, only Count Jourdain of Montpellier and Count Guillaume of Uzès are banding together to break my authority. But it seems that he has recovered from the consumption. So well done him. I would have thought he would have died, like his wife, but he did recover. And Count Guillaume of Uzès is somebody as well who we need to keep an eye on. But yeah, that means Rouergue is now very much in the hands of a belligerent man who may at some point decide that he should be running the kingdom. So much trouble is brewing. Uncle Antoine has released my cousin, who is married to her nephew, and apparently forgiven her for her sin. So That does not particularly instill me with confidence still about the dealings in Gévaudan and the depravity that's going on there. Meanwhile, the plague is further receding, and I think we're reasonably safe at this point that the African pox have not taken landfall in Toulouse. That said, I wonder if we can. I wonder if we can do something. We don't have any open building slots, and I was wondering if we could do something to improve the plague resistance along the coastline, because it is dreadful. So I don't think, however, there's much that we can actually do here, because the only thing we could do would be we can't even scrap these things, so we don't have direct control over these places. There's not much we can do, rather other than just strengthening things locally. And my efforts to improve Count Antoine's opinion of me have worked out, which means that now we should be able to negotiate an alliance with Count Antoine of Gévaudan, despite... So, under the tutelage of my sister, I have managed to keep my misgivings about his questionable unions in his house to myself, and have managed to convince him that an alliance between us would be beneficial. So we will be signing that. That just leaves Count Borel, and once again, I actually shall make the effort and see if I can improve my understanding with my cousin. We have discovered the ameliory sphere. Now let me find out what that is, because I have absolutely no idea where is it gone. So right now we're looking at windmills, which would be giving us additional building slots, which would be great. But I have no idea where that sphere is. There it is, ameliory sphere. A spherical framework of moving rings allow us to chart and predict the movement of the heavens. Oh, it's an astrolabium of some sorts. Okay, it's a fascinating astrological device, and it helps navigating in waters. Okay, great, but not particularly helpful, as we are not sailing around in great manners. How much of the early innovations are we actually missing? So we've done all the tribals. We are almost done with the early medievals. We've got burhs, which would be military buildings. High medieval, we're obviously still very short, and late medieval era is not yet available. So nothing happening there just now. Al-Andalus is in control of the lands north of the papacy, and maybe they should stop focusing on conquest of the Holy Lands and instead rather deal with the situation at hand. However, my cousin has been Chiefess Fresende of Calabria, has been taken prisoner together with her husband after the siege in Rossano. And with that, Al-Andalus is in control of most of the lands here. Is there something I can do about it? No, not really. So it is something that, alas, they will have to deal with themselves. But the threat from Al-Andalus is becoming more and more prevalent in the area. So far, Aragon stands as a kingdom between us and them, but we have the French in the north, still under Benoit the Craven, who doesn't seem to be as interested in conquest, and has just kind of worked to get his kingdom back under control. But the Andalusian invasion of the European lands is. Or the more invasion of the European lands under the Al-Andalus Caliphate is a little concerning. So we might have to strengthen our defensive works at some point. How does it look actually? We actually have no fortresses on the border with Aragon, and I don't think we can. The first one would be Carcassonne, which isn't particularly impressive, and Foix as well, which is could be better. So I'm not going to invest yet into these because we still have. We have to strengthen our own fortifications for now. We've got Toulouse Castle itself, which is in good shape, our capital. But we've got Beaumont-sur-Lez, but we've still got Montauban and Quercy themselves. Both castles are relatively weak. So in any conflict in the north, it'll benefit us to have these castles improved. Uncle Antoine is not doing a particularly great job of furthering his mandate. He keeps abusing his powers. So I think the mandate I think we'll switch him to promote authority instead of trying to sort out things, because he has even managed to lower control in Gévaudan by trying to extricate extra funds from the peasantry. So his stewardship is pretty average, which is probably why this isn't working so well. So instead, his diplomacy is a bit better. Let's see if we can get him to improve things for us. However, it won't be long until I come of age myself, and then I can take over from him to deal with these things on my own. And there's still the unresolved manner of somebody trying to murder Bernard Hézy. And I think it has something to do with my steward, Takulf. But so far, nothing further has been brought to light. So we will have to sit and wait and see how things go. Yes, we have neither donated gold nor pledged our armies to the crusade. We will be condemned by the church if we do not do so. So that is unfortunate. How far are we willing to go to heads with the Pope, who has caught the pox? And apparently, yes, the Pope itself, it is said, is not quite behaving himself to the conduct that we would expect from the head of faith. And does spend time with women of negotiable affections, and as such, I will denounce this kind of behavior, and we shall not participate in this crusade. Him be damned. There is another outbreak of the holy fire in the north, so once again we have to switch to controlling plagues and deal with the situation there. Now. They can mount their crusade on their own. We shall not participate, and we shall not donate our precious funds to these endeavors of a church led by a man of dubious character who did not come to the aid of my aunt when she was in distress as Queen of Jerusalem. Okay, that worked better. Count Antoine has been at Count Jourdan of Montpelier's place, he has replied with a missive that states, "I have been hosting your chancellor for several weeks, and he has helped me truly see the splendor of the realm under your rule. I am nothing less than honored to serve as your vassal." Okay, he gains some opinion of us. Now that is great. And that means we are probably in... that works out better in terms of mandate. So he hasn't done particularly well in trying to improve our dire financial situation. The holy fire in the north is spreading, yet it hasn't quite crossed our borders yet. But things could go differently. Well, now we get a missive from the Pope. and it has been brought to his attention that we have yet to pledge our support for the upcoming crusade. Must I remind you that it is your sacred duty as a Catholic king to wage war against the unbelievers and infidels? This is not my war. Go and put it where... honestly, no. This war you shall fight yourself. You have lost great territories in our immediate vicinity to the jihad, and yet you insist on your own schemes. No, we shall not get involved in this, and I shall stand firm on this. You may declare me a sinner or not, but I will stand firm on that missive. The plague has reached Montpensier. I don't think we need to isolate the capital just yet, because so far it is just in the far north, but we have to keep a very close eye on the situation. And it seems we were not the only one who had misgivings about that last crusade. So, what has happened? The Catholic crusade is betrayed. Misguided pilgrims have banded together behind the pretender Xena to plan the assault of the Byzantine Empire. So they refused to journey to Jerusalem. So there is a new faction, if I see that correctly, under King Witikind of Poland, who are looking to reunite the church, but under the Greek direction, not the Roman one. So King Witikind has started a war against Emperor Vukoman of the Byzantine Empire, and currently Byzantine Empire is under iconoclasm. So they are trying to. I would assume that they are attempting to install orthodoxy. So we shall see. We shall see where this is going. Yep, there goes, and there goes the crusade, which has I'm going to put that away, which has significantly reduced the numbers of available troops for the Pope. So, with the help of Eleanor, I have completed my studies of stewardship. Even if the highest aspect of the subject eludes me, I lived up to everyone's expectation and learned more than most. As I take my first steps into adulthood, I find myself reminiscing about some of the people who have made an impact on the man I have become. The friendship I shared with Bernardesi meant a lot to me when we were both young, and to still have him by my side means a lot. I had some memorable times with Raimonda. She truly helped me understand myself. And I am a man now. And with that, yes, I have been somewhat fond of the wife of Count Raulf, of my uncle. But that was a youthful infatuation and has not gone anywhere. So with that, I am in direct control of the Kingdom of Toulouse in these uncertain times, where there is a war going on for the control of the Byzantine Empire now as well, and the Catholic Church looks as weak as ever under this Pope, who has brought nothing but shame to the faith. Well, first week of all, we can get married, and yes, I do realize that Valence is lowborn, and that people will be unhappy about this, and that could cause further ruptures inside the kingdom. But it was my father's wish that I take her as my wife, because of his friendship with her father Charles, and his guarantee that she would be taken care of, because she is a very good woman, and she is, well, basically too good for this world. So she shall become my queen, and opinion be damned. So there we go. We have lost much legitimacy, but then again, we're down to recognized ruler. But we shall see what the impact of all of this is. Meanwhile, the king has lost most of his men in probably during a failed crusade, which opens up an opportunity for us. And I think this is probably an opportunity that we shall take, because we have the duchy of Auvergne, but it is incomplete because the Auvergne itself and Thiers are both occupied still by the French. So despite the fact that the French fire is now spreading, I think we will take this opportunity to complete our lands in the north and push back the threat of the French somewhat further, given the current weakness of the king, who is losing. He's actually losing he's losing against Al-Andalus. I don't know exactly where they're fighting, but let's have a look, see if we can find out. They're conquering the lands around the papacy, and the French king is losing very badly. Has lost all battles, and most of his men have died in the defense of French-controlled lands near the papacy. Meanwhile, the Pope himself, if he's not busy with spending time with women that he has paid for their affections, doing a failed crusade in the Middle East, and the Byzantine Empire now is under threat as well. So uncertain times, and I think we will take this opportunity to restore the Northern Duchy to its full glory. But first, what else do we have? We've got we still can get another knight, and we've still got the entrenched regency by Count Antoine. Yeah, that is going to end now. I've gained the fortune builder trait, and it's time for him to leave. Yes, we'll give him a minute to make the decision on his own. But otherwise, we've lost the bossy trait, and we can now choose a lifestyle. And I think we will begin with the martial lifestyle of chivalry, and learn the in times like this, learning to fight, I believe, is the most prudent route to take. We still got the plague going on in the north, and we are working on improving our opinion of Count Borel, but I think they will, given the lowered opinion of my subjects, we will have to prove ourselves to them that we are indeed a rightful ruler, and we shall do that by completing the Duchy of Auvergne against the weakened French.